Snowflakes fluttered from the night sky like tiny white feathers, drifting and swirling in the wind before settling on the crowded sidewalks of the city. December had a way of turning everything magical: glowing lights in windows, cinnamon scents floating from bakeries, people carrying wrapped gifts under their arms, but none of that magic touched Maya tonight. Not when her fingers were numb from running between buses, not when her clothes still smelled faintly of yeast from her shift at the bakery, and not when exhaustion clung to her like an extra layer she couldn't shake off. She checked the cracked screen of her phone. 7:43 p.m. Her blind date had been set for 7 p.m. 43 minutes late. She'd almost called her sister 4 times to cancel. Each time, she stopped herself. If she cancelled, her sister would be disappointed, her neighbor, who was watching little Lila, would worry she'd given up on herself, and Maya, well, she would start believing she truly deserved nothing more than work, sleep, and survival. Still, she kept thinking, who waits this long for a stranger? Her breath puffed in small clouds as she crossed the street, nearly slipping on a patch of ice. Her heart hammered from running and nerves. She tugged her coat tighter, wishing it were thicker. Christmas decorations shimmered in every shop window, twinkling lights framing families, couples, and smiling mannequins in festive sweaters. Meanwhile she, a broke single mom, pushed through the cold wearing a coat she'd bought secondhand for $5. She hurried past a group of college friends laughing loudly, their cheeks flushed from the warmth of their scarves. They didn't notice her. People rarely did. By the time she reached the cafe, Blue Amber Cafe, with warm yellow lights glowing through its front windows, her throat felt tight. She paused at the entrance, resting her hand against the door handle, trying to gather herself. I shouldn't go in, her mind whispered. No one wants to sit and talk with someone like me. You're late. You look a mess. He'll be annoyed. She glanced at her reflection in the glass. Hair frizzed from rushing. Coat stained with flour dust. Shoes still wet. She looked like someone who'd stumbled into Christmas season by accident. But she also remembered what her sister had said earlier while curling Maya's hair as best she could, just show up. You deserve one night where you're not just a mom or a worker. Just Maya. Just Maya. She wasn't sure she remembered who that was. Still, she exhaled, pushed open the door, and stepped inside. The cafe was busy but calm, soft jazz music, small conversations blending with the sound of cups clinking. The smell of espresso and nutmeg wrapped around her like a blanket. She blinked, letting the warmth sink into her frozen fingers. She scanned the room, expecting a frustrated man checking his watch or an empty table indicating he'd left. Instead, a tall man sitting near the window looked up. His eyes met hers instantly, steady and startlingly warm. He stood the moment she entered, as if he'd been waiting for her to walk through the door. Maya? He asked, voice low and smooth. Her breath hitched. Yes. I'm so sorry I'm late. Work ran long and then the buses were, I didn't mean to. He lifted a hand gently. It's okay. You made it. That's what matters. His tone wasn't annoyed. Not even mildly irritated. There was something calm about him, something patient, like he was the kind of person who didn't raise his voice or rush through life. She looked around again, confused. You've been waiting this whole time. He nodded, as though it were obvious. I didn't mind. But, it's been 40 minutes, she blurted before she could stop herself. He gave a soft smile. You're worth waiting for. The words landed in her chest warmer than the cafe's heater. No one said things like that to her. Not her ex. Not the customers at the bakery. Not the world that judged tired mothers in stained coats. For a moment, she forgot how to breathe properly. He pulled out the chair for her as she approached, and Maya moved stiffly, still in disbelief. She sat down, aware of every flaw, the frayed sleeve of her coat, the flour smudge on her jeans, the faint smell of dough that never left her hands. He sat across from her, his posture relaxed, his expression gentle. Up close, she noticed details she'd missed from afar. His coat was expensive, black wool, clean lines, the kind rich professionals wore downtown. His watch looked like something displayed behind glass in jewelry stores. His hair was neatly brushed, and his voice carried a confidence that suggested he rarely needed to second-guess himself. Meanwhile she was just a bakery worker struggling to pay rent. A server approached shyly, almost nervously. "Would you like to order now, sir?" "Sir." Maya blinked. People didn't call ordinary men sir with that tone. The man, her date, turned to her. "You should choose first." "Oh, she hadn't even looked at the menu. And even if she did, everything here was expensive. She shouldn't order anything more than water. He noticed her hesitation. "How about I order for both of us? Only if you're okay with that." She nodded quickly, grateful. He ordered 2 hot chocolates, with whipped cream, and a small plate of gingerbread cookies. When the server walked away, Maya leaned back slightly, studying him with cautious curiosity. "Do you come here often?" "Sometimes," he said. "It's one of my quieter spots." She frowned. This cafe was popular. "Quiet?" "For me," he replied, a hint of amusement in his eyes. Before she could ask what that meant, a few customers glanced over at him, whispering. One of them nudged her friend. Another waiter straightened his apron before approaching their table, offering extra napkins as if trying to impress him. Maya blinked. Who exactly is this man? He noticed her confusion and asked lightly, "Are you okay?" "Yes," she said quickly. Then, quieter, "I'm just surprised you waited." He rested his hands on the table, fingers interlaced. Life is complicated. People are complicated. Being late doesn't define anything. She looked down at her hands, warming slowly around the mug the server placed in front of her. No one ever talks to me like that, she thought. She took a sip of the hot chocolate, and the warmth spread through her chest, calming the frantic beat of her heart. The man across from her smiled again, patient, open, and quietly observant, as if seeing her without judging her. And for the first time in a long while, Maya felt something she hadn't felt in years.